Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Ng, and I'm the lead faculty for research and scholarship at the UBC Department of Family Practice Residency Program. Today, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the Scholar project that you will complete over your 2 years in the program. So the objectives for today, we're going to introduce the Scholar project. I'll give you some objectives, how to find a preceptor, talk about some timelines and the types of projects that are acceptable, and your deliverables. We'll have you brainstorm ideas for your project by yourself or with colleagues, and we'll get you excited about scholarship in family medicine. One word before we begin, everything on this presentation is available on the internet at the following address. There is no password needed. The objectives of the Scholar project. The Resident Scholar project will foster the following key competence of the Scholar role. Contribute to the creation, dissemination, application, and translation of new knowledge and practices. This is prescribed by the College of Family Physicians of Canada. But why is it important for you as practicing doctors if you're never going to do research to do this project? First, a brief history about the Scholar project. This project has been a part of the UBC Family Practice Residency Program since 1986. Most other departments across the country also have a similar requirement. The main goals are to help you to develop an area of special interest and expertise and to appreciate the wide array of scholarship in family medicine. As you go further along in your training, you'll realize the limits of your preceptor's knowledge base. Think about the time when you were a medical student. You probably took whatever your superiors said as gospel. By this stage, hopefully, you are developing a critical mind and learning that not everything your preceptors or even the specialists say is correct. Invariably, you'll run into I don't knows or answers that seem contradictory or beg more questions. Pay attention to these situations as they can be a good source or starting point for your project. As you phrase your research question, you will also gain experience in conducting a brief literature review and critiquing other people's work in the field. When you conduct a literature review, you will also be gaining experience in answering clinical questions that you may encounter. By the time you conduct, prepare, and disseminate your work, hopefully you will have found an area that interests you for further work. Many projects that our residents have done have gone on over the years to be presented at major conferences nationally and internationally. So let's go over the requirements of the Scholar project. There are 4 main project types that you can do. They are a research study, an analytical essay, an artistic production, and educational scholarship. Research study. So let's talk about the types of research studies that you can do. This is your typical research study and can be classified as quantitative or qualitative using primary data that you're going to collect, or secondary data that's already been collected. Most studies will need ethics approval, with the exception of systematic reviews. Examples include case control studies, cohort studies, cross-sectional studies, systematic reviews, continuous quality improvement, program evaluation, and other qualitative studies using focus groups and one-on-one interviews for data collection. An analytical essay, meanwhile, can be further broken down into several subtypes. You can do an analysis of health policy, such as the legalization of marijuana or the legalization of physician-assisted suicide. We can discuss, there are other project types include clinical implications of basic research and basic implications of clinical observations, and something called innovations. More information about these projects can be found on the internet site. An artistic production has been done by residents throughout the years and is a creative expression or humanities-based method that can be a very effective way to communicate an idea. Many residents have developed talents in visual art, music, dance, photography, or drama. And in the past, some residents have expressed ideas and insights related to family medicine through their art or through creative practices. Artistic productions will be judged with the help of post-secondary fine arts faculty according to standards appropriate to the genre. Some previous examples of artistic production include painting, printmaking, assemblage, video, photography, or multimedia display. For example, quilts expressing the doctor's experience as a patient. Performing art include things like theater, interpretive movement, musical performances. For example, a one-person play about a resident's experience as a patient on a psychiatric ward. And creative writing, novella, short story, poetry, creative nonfiction. So for example, a short story about the immigrant experience in the Canadian healthcare system. Finally, educational scholarship. Educational scholarship can encompass a wide range of teaching activities, including the development and evaluation of educational tools and reflective journaling on the teaching process. Talk to your psych faculty for more details. Let's discuss a bit about the requirements of the scholarly project. All projects must meet the following 8 criteria: scholarship, originality, relevance to family medicine, literature review, ethics approval if necessary, a contribution statement, collaboration and mentorship, including a statement of acknowledgements, and a presentation. This presentation is usually a 10-minute presentation with 5 minutes for questions for single presenters, or a 15-minute presentation with 5 minutes for questions for groups of 2 or more. And this is usually done at the Scholar Day in June. Going through the timelines for the R1 year, in July to December, you should be gathering your clinical questions or start to think about the type of project that will be done. From January to April, you should be identifying a project supervisor. From May to June, you should work on a literature review and an ethics application. In your R2 year, in August, you should have submitted your ethics already if that was necessary. From September to December, you should commence data collection. Your draft abstract is due in the middle of November. Your final abstract is due mid-December, and your final manuscript is due at the end of February. Remediation work, if necessary, will take place from March 1st to May 31st, with Scholarship Day in June. Completion of your R2 project is a requirement for graduation from the program. Should you not complete the project, a remediation process will be in place to guide you to satisfactory completion of your project. You will not be granted a license by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of BC until you have satisfactorily completed the R2 project. As for funding, each resident will have about $200 to cover mailing costs, photocopying costs, and other costs related to the project. If you intend on using this money, please write up a budget detailing where the money is going to go and submit this to your site faculty for research. If you need help with statistics, get in touch with your site faculty, who will put you in touch with an appropriate statistician. Each resident gets approximately $200 for this. In summary, the R2 project is a requirement for graduation from the Family Medicine Residency Program here at UBC. There are a variety of project types to choose from, and we ask that you talk to your site faculty for research, for inspiration and guidance, and to check the scholarship website for updated